Doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense how you got to this figure between these two numbers.
I gotta go. Like, she wasn't happy with my response. Let's put it that way. Hi, Dan. Yeah, she has no other choice.
Hey, hello everybody. How are you doing? Could we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Have a roll call, please.
Yes, sir. Chaplain Daniels. Here. Tyler Kennedy.
Here.
Jalen Daniels.
Present.
Frank Pergola.
Here.
Adam Preston.
Here.
Sean Rallis.
Here.
Rowan Brown.
Here.
Noah Darrow. Patricia De Silva. Here. Christopher Rogers.
Here.
Daniel Stahl.
Here.
Carl Williams.
Here.
Lisa Fraser. Here. Ann Lynch.
Here.
Thank you. A quorum was met.
Before we get on with business, I was hoping that we could have a moment of silence for a good friend and a fellow co-worker and just basically a good guy, for Mr. Jimmy Bartalis. So if we can have a moment of silence for him, please. Thank you. Okay, I need a motion for consideration of the previous minutes.
I'll make a motion.
And I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? No discussion? Minutes are accepted. Okay, time for the public session. Is there anyone here from the public who would like to address the board? Just step up to the podium so we can. And please give your name and your address.
Jeff Price,
Oh, Jeff.
Roller Terrace,
How you doing?
president of Ansonia Soccer Club. And I just want to read an open letter I want to write to the families of the Ansonia Soccer Club. Dear Ansonia Soccer Club families, 2 years ago, I wrote to the soccer community and asked that we support a referendum to spend over $10 million on the improvement of recreation fields around town. Avestone Park had been unusable since April of 22, and the Nature Center was feeling the fatigue of the entirety of the soccer program playing there. In the fall of 24, the city of Ansonia hired a contractor to make Avestone Park playable again for the soccer program. The outcome was a result of improper resources. The field was too rocky, the grass didn't take, and created a playing surface that is both unacceptable and dangerous. In the meantime, the Nature Center fields were falling into absolute disrepair with the heavy traffic of our program. I tried asking the city to spend the referendum money we voted on to repair the fields your children play on. My request fell on deaf ears. We had nearly 300 participants signing up in the spring each year, and we couldn't continue to abuse the Nature Center fields. I asked for the use of a vacant football field on Nolan to practice on while we moved some teams around and away from the Nature Center. My request was approved by the mayor's office. Mrs. Ann Lynch photographed one of my coaches assembling goals and then went and complained to the mayor. Instead of letting us use a vacant field, the town entered into a financial agreement with neighboring town Derby to use their turf field. The town used to provide us a $5,000 stipend each year to assist in the financial needs of our program. That was cut in the most recent budget. When we learned about this, we had planned to use the new public turf facilities at Nolan Field to host a summer tournament as a fundraiser. I've been told that Ms. Lynch opposes that and says we need to keep the city's best interest
This
in
is
mind.
humorous.
This is
Please
totally
continue.
sensitive.
I know, please continue.
Mrs. Lynch opposes that and says we need to keep the city's best interest in mind. Mrs. Lynch, are the children not the best interest of this city? In a recent recreation board meeting, Mrs. Lynch told an Ansonia soccer board member during a discussion, I don't know why I keep picking on soccer. Mrs. Lynch, I don't know why either. Families of Ansonia Soccer ask for your support. This is a 100% volunteer-run program. We don't need the city of Ansonia roadblocking us from letting your children enjoy community-based outdoor recreational activity. Please reach out to your aldermen and voice your concern that we are not treated with equity. We just want Avestone Park and Nature Center fixed and treated, and an alternate place to play while these repairs are being done. We have the capability to use 2 brand new turf fields this spring and take some pressure off the infrastructure at the Nature Center. Don't let the aldermen continue to pick on us. They should be providing support, not opposition. We need the town to start showing that they care about the citizens and the children and the sports that children play. I've asked in abundance for years that we repair Avestone Park. And when that money was being voted on, I reached out to the Ansonia Soccer Club families and asked them to help push that vote forward, thinking that that money would get spent somewhere besides Nolan Field. Our program has about 300 kids per season. We get about 500 unique registrations per year. It's a lot of Ansonia kids playing soccer. It's a lot of Ansonia kids playing outside. I don't care if it was soccer, if it was football, if it was baseball. I don't care what the sport is. But I'm the voice of these people. I'm the voice of these children. And we continue to just not get the resources that are being provided to everybody else. So I'm just asking them, the plan that I keep asking for Avestone to be fixed, that it just get fixed, that we just put the money into it. It's that it start in April so that I'm not butting up against these problems in the fall when I can't share a field with football. I just need these fields. I need these fields for these kids to play.
Well, the problem is that it's a new administration, and you know, the problems, if I may, stem from their handling of the situation. I'm sure Ann and...
The past administration, correct me if I'm wrong, did put $6,000 into Avestone Park, gave the project to Burns Construction, who was not certified to work on a field. We complained about that, correct? And they still didn't get the money back, and the problem has not been resolved, correct? Correct? That was the past administration who paid $6,000 to Burns Construction.
Is there not money left over from the referendum?
We're still waiting on a balance for that.
I would like this.
There's other fields in town also that do need to get work done as well.
I understand these projects don't have to be done consecutively, they can be done concurrently.
Look, we really can't discuss procedure here because there's facts that we don't know, so I would...
I've been asking for years for this. Just because you're new administration, I mean, that's an easy veil to hide behind, but it would be nicer if you could say, you know what, we're a new administration, we're going to take care of this. We're not going to act like the old administration.
I think ultimately, what we're going to do is we're going to look into it and do the best we can to progress it. But it's not something that we can fix today, tomorrow, or even in the next 6 months.
It's something that if we started the process today, we could start today. That's if you keep kicking it down the road, it's never going to get done.
I think ultimately you bringing this to our attention is the start of that process.
I
have to say,
email, but I'm going to have to get the people of the town to understand the roadblocks that I've been getting for 4 years.
You've been getting them from the previous administration.
You haven't given us an opportunity to do a thing, so why don't, now that you've spoken, let us look into it and we can get back to you.
because ultimately, I mean, I think everybody here in this room is all for the children. So you're fighting for the kids. I don't think anybody here is going to let that fall upon deaf ears. So, I mean,
I don't want to have to write an email and tell hundreds of parents this year that we have nowhere to play. And that's what we have right now is nowhere to play.
I think one of the things too the administration here is working on is more outlines around field usage and being transparent with the whole community on that. So I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, in the past 4 years you haven't really had that opportunity to kind of understand where things are going, who's playing where.
they haven't fought for you in the past 4 years. They haven't really heard you at all, right?
I've gotten pretty much nothing. I've gotten nothing in getting these fields fixed that have been underwater, that have been unusable for 4 years.
So, Ian, correct me if I'm wrong, though. The rec board's currently working on field dynamics.
And field usage.
Right, field usage to make sure
Yes.
we're ironing it out for
Yes.
everyone. Right?
Mhm.
And there's 2 turf fields up there that would make this a lot easier if I could do both turf fields in the spring.
But we have to have the baseball field with the fence.
That's the big
The
thing.
fence
There's
will be
blockers.
where the high school baseball field is and then where Babe Ruth will be playing. And I'm going to clarify a couple of things as well. In December, I was at the rec board meeting. You were not. January, I was not at the meeting because I was at my daughter's game. So whoever told you that I was against your little soccer tournament is incorrect. Next time, come directly to me.
Sorry, that came from an email, not from you.
That came from an email. The second thing I would like to discuss with you, we're not against having a soccer tournament up there. And I spoke about it with Tyler and Jalen, the other aldermen who are on the rec board with me. There's a couple of concerns. We have one Major League Baseball diamond in this town. So the high school team gets first dibs on that, and the fence is going to remain open. The rec meeting that I was at during the month of December, it was said that that fence was going to remain up until the end of the summer, because we also have to have a big diamond for our Babe Ruth teams to play. Then the meeting that I wasn't at in January, what was also said was that if there was no Babe Ruth, maybe the fence could come down, and then maybe you could have your tournament there in June that you want to have. But there is also other things that we need to take into consideration before we have a soccer tournament. We don't have a field use policy. Who's going to be up there to clean the bathrooms, lock up the things? We are in some financial dire needs, this town right now. So we got to have Public Works a part of this. They have to go up there and clean the bathroom. We can't just say, okay, soccer, go have a tournament up there. There's a lot more that goes into this. We have to inform the Ansonia police into this. We have no policies in place right now. If those policies get in place, we have to go to the mayor's office and ask for permission. We have to also go to Public Works and ask Mike if it's in the budget to pay for OT. We can't just say, go have a soccer tournament.
We've already discussed with the entry fee, having the funds to be able to pay for the OT in the police detail. We made sure to cover those bases. And we outlined that the last time we had our meeting.
Nothing has been presented to this board yet about field usage for Nolan Field. Correct? Anything to the mayor's office either?
I mean, I'll just add, Jeff, that
Thank you.
we don't even know the costs of what Public Works is going to cost at this point in time, what the police department would cost, what EMS would cost if they need to be up there during the course of the tournament. So those costs might be able to be pushed on to youth soccer. But at this point in time, we don't know what they are. We don't know what the field policy is going to be set by the board to be able to tell you what that is. We don't have signage up there indicating, we don't have the proper ordinances in place to be able to enforce that stuff. So until all of that stuff is worked out, giving blanket usage to a soccer tournament, it's just not feasible at this time. Hopefully we'll have that stuff done by early spring. At that point in time, late spring, so that stuff will be able to be done, because I know the tournament you're looking at is May or June.
June.
End of June. So hopefully everything is in place and lined up by then.
We want to make sure to get out of everybody else's way. We want
Sure.
to make sure to get out of baseball.
And I appreciate that and bringing it up at this point in time.
We'll sit where we normally sit, at the bottom of the rung.
Well, I'll disagree with that assessment.
I'm
because I
going to
don't think-
disagree with that, because you should go visit the girls' youth soccer softball fields. They've been underwater for over a decade. They've gotten nothing.
And
I
there's
think everybody has to understand.
triaging of field use and field needs. And while I recognize the fact that soccer is one of the larger programs, those needs have to be triaged, and this board and the recreation board have to take all of that stuff into consideration when allocating funds and redesigning things. We sat in my office several months ago talking about what a possible redesign would look like. And now there's a new administration that's...
I've been talking about Acorn Park for years.
I
And
understand.
Mr. Chairman, and Mr. Bryce, and I'm sorry to interrupt, Mr. Drummond as well. Ward 1, Avestone Park is in Ward 1. I deeply care about that as well, but we do need to be respectful of the other public's time as well. And I think all of this should be synthesized. I think it's very important. So thank you for bringing it up.
Jeff, we'll look into it. I don't know what to tell you. We don't know what the policies or lack thereof from the previous administration.
That's all right. I accept it. 300 parents to answer to, or 500 parents to answer to, and I'm going to answer to them. That's all I can do. All I can do is tell them what I was told, that we're just going to kick it down the road. That's what I'm going to tell them.
I'm sorry, that's not what I just heard.
Well, we
I
can't,
heard 6 months, I heard 3 months, I heard...
You got to give us time to research it.
Yeah.
We can't make a decision.
I know you guys came into another, I know you guys came on the heels of another administration, but I really just lost my patience. And I'm a volunteer, and I do this so long for nothing, just to make sure that these kids have something, because I feel if I were to leave this program, I don't care what anybody tells me, I can feel the fact that there's some hatred around this program. And I don't know why, and I don't even care why. I just want these kids to have a good time. That's all I want. So I'm just going to communicate what was communicated to me. And the best I heard was 3, 4, 6 months. And I'll tell them that I'm just going to have to answer back to them 3, 4, 6 months. If there's nowhere to play, there's nowhere to play.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who wants to address in the public session? I see you, Tracy.
Come on up.
As long as you don't kill me, okay? Hi, Tracy Burkett, 18 Winter Street. I have a few things. I'm here tonight to ask for some help from the board, just to clarify a couple of things. You guys sent out the code red, which I'm not sure where it came from, whether it came from the mayor's office or the police department. I appreciate it. I actually screen printed it and I sent it to a lot of the seniors that don't have access to the email, and they didn't know how to get access, so I did explain to them for them. But my question is this. I did go to Public Works, and Mrs. Leisure was there, and I asked a question in regards to the plowing of the streets and getting close to the curbs. And I understand Mr. D'Alessio made it quite clear that they did the best they can under the situation they were in, with the amount of snow that came down as quickly as it came down. And, we lifted the ban and he wasn't able to get out there. So I understood his point of view and with the trucks being down. But unfortunately, they were about 3.5 feet away from the curb. So with that being said, buses weren't able to get by because cars were parked in the road. I'm not able to get in and out of my driveway. It's literally a pain in the butt. My neighbor 2 doors down is having the same issue today, getting in and out of his driveway. Now, I did go to the police commissioners meeting. Chief Williams wasn't there. You were not there. You were, I think it was a bad leg, foot, or something. So he wasn't there for me to address it to him. So when I went there, Sergeant Lynch was there, and he said that it's Public Works. So my question is, to me, it's a safety issue. It's a safety issue for the buses, because if a bus, and I have a picture to show if anybody wants to see it. If a bus can't get by, an ambulance is not going to be able to get by, nor is the fire truck going to get by. So I brought this up last Wednesday. Now today, I'm taking my kids to the school at Emmett. I come home, and a bus hit a car on the street because the car was parked partially in the road. So again, whose job is it? Me personally, I'm not saying it's the police department. I'm not saying it's Public Works. I believe it's the person who's parking on the road, because when I have to park on the road, I just shovel a spot for my car to be close to the sidewalk. But who's going to enforce that? You know what I mean? Like, I understand, like, I called the police department Friday because I had a hard time getting in and out of mine, and they just drive by. And I get that. They're busy, I know. The other night, there was an officer driving down for Super Bowl Sunday and asked her the same thing, because I have my husband's truck, and I cannot get, we have a very narrow road on Winter Street, I have a big truck. God forbid I hit something, I'll get killed. It's not my truck, it's my husband's truck, and we have 2 cars, and I get what Mike D'Alessio said, when these streets were made, when these houses were built, it was built at a time when every family had 1 vehicle. Unfortunately, the times have changed. There's multiple families that, that have multiple cars. There's no room. So that's question number 1. Question number 2 is, I'm asking you tonight to please think about, before you guys approve any more apartments anywhere in this town, think about, where are they going to park? I mean, honestly here, I hate to ask you guys this question, because if we're having a problem now, and you're going to put apartments down here, there's nowhere. There really is nowhere to park. And then I have other ones too. I'm sorry I have quite a few tonight, and I apologize. So that's a couple of those. And then my other questions here is also, 19-2.3, which states no commercial vehicle shall be on the roadways from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. Now, nobody's enforcing it. Nobody's doing anything about it. We have one that's on our street that comes every night, and I called it in. I put it on the tip line for the police department. The truck, if you go by tonight, the truck is in the middle of the road again, taking up 3 spots. Now you're taking up, again, 3 spots for us. There's nowhere to park. The neighbors are getting frustrated, and it's just out of control, okay? The other thing I have is, and this is near and dear to me, and you've been, Mr. Rogers, at the meeting. My daughter broke her wrist, not once, but twice on the sidewalks. And I brought this up many a times, because cars are parked on sidewalks. You know, it irritates me to the point that, like, I can't even tell you. My daughter was in a cast twice for tennis because of people having no respect for other people. I brought it up to the last administration. I've had a big fight with Mr. Cassetti when he was here. Nobody cared. They're doing it again. Nobody cares about the people, okay? I don't want to be bashing anybody. I'm not here for that. I'm asking somebody to please help.
Can you go to the police commissioner with this?
I've been there
Please.
multiple times.
He'll send people down.
Tracy is, she does come to our meetings on a pretty regular basis. And she does call in violations on a pretty regular basis. As far as the winter, I'm going to try and, there's a whole bunch here to unpack, so I'm going to try and unpack them a little bit. The commercial vehicles that you talked about, we do enforce. I know that they've had contact because you reported another one on North State Street that we've already went out and talked to that owner about a tinting company. I think you allege that he's doing his work on the street.
Yep.
That he alleges he's not doing his work on the street. There was no way to prove that he was doing work on the street. However, he does have a commercial vehicle. He's told he can't park it on the street. He asked us for permission to park it in city lots. We told him to park it in city lots. So he's trying to make arrangements to get his vehicle off of there. As far as the one on Winter Street, I'll take it right out there after the meeting and see if I can figure out what happened. I thought that this was already addressed. And I know you said he takes up 3 spaces. Are you saying it's a tractor trailer?
No, it's a longer van. It says 2020 on it. It's a air conditioning and heating one, and it's the longer of those vans. But it's not just my street, it's everywhere. They're all over.
Right.
And it's coming, this is just tonight is me.
Yeah, that's kind of a general term. You do say that a lot. It's everywhere. I will tell you, I drive on streets all the time and don't see commercial vehicles, so it's not everywhere, but I get what you're pointing.
They're over on Ward 1, because when I go over to Ward 1 and I take care of Mrs. Pelham, they're right over there.
The second thing about the wideness of the streets after the snowstorm, I would direct you to Public Works, especially if it's because the roadway is narrowed because of snow, it's a Public Works issue. If a vehicle is blocking the roadway, it's a police issue. Blocking doesn't mean that they parked and it made the road narrow, but cars can still get by. It means that they're blocking it where cars cannot get by. I don't know what happened in the accident today with the school bus. I would have to talk to the officer and investigate as to who was at fault in that. So I will tell you that we've addressed some of these with Mr. D'Alessio. Whether or not they can do any snow removal on streets, it's a lot of snow. I think we all know that it's a lot of snow and it's not going anywhere anytime soon. So it is a Public Works issue though, if the roads are narrowed because they didn't get it close enough to the sidewalk. And then I will tell you then the follow-up will be that they'll push it onto the sidewalks and then the complaints will come in, they'll be plowed in their sidewalks in the driveway. So unfortunately for Public Works, I think it's a no-win situation.
When we get a call about snow, Mike D'Alessio personally goes out and takes care of it. So call Public Works, Mike will come out. He will
I
take care of it.
talked to him, he said he was going to come out that night, and he has not come out.
Did you know? That you know of?
No, I work from home, and he hasn't been out on Winter Street at all.
One of the things,
Well,
Frank,
hold on a second. Then call my office tomorrow, we'll call Mike. Mike's not here because he's getting ready to plow all night. Just
Right, no, I know. I'm
But you
not
got
thinking
it,
about
you can't just let us know, because we sent out at least 50 people this week. I have an admin, she's sitting in the back, she'll tell
Right,
you
no, I
that.
sit with me.
Okay, well, that's what we do, all right?
Okay.
And we'll help you. We do it all the time.
Okay.
All right?
Mr. Chairman, can I just, one of the things that Tracy mentioned at our Public Works was that there's a three-family house, I think you said, or two-family?
Yeah, that
Over
was
there
gonna
on
be my other
Winter,
thing.
that has 12 cars. And that's part of the reason why that street's not getting plowed correctly. And if, maybe we can come up with a way to, if they're blocking the road, if they're doing,
It's like
if
a
we can't
landlord
get there,
accountability or something.
you know,
Something.
I know, at least you, when you're looking at me, I'm not sure that that's something that we don't, I mean, there's nothing that I know of on the
Well,
books
if
that
they're-
says you can only have this many cars in your
no,
house.
I'm saying if
There
they're,
is a landlord, and I don't mean to interrupt, but there is a Landlord Accountability Act, Tracy, if you want to come by and give me the address,
That's what
I can certainly check on that. I do have an ongoing list, and it's something that actually recently, we had a discussion within the mayor's office about starting to enforce that, because we have a lot of out-of-town landlords that we're looking to hold accountable for who they have there and hold them accountable under our ordinances.
Because there's 11 rentals on our street and only
Yep.
one landlord that lives in the house. And what they're doing is they're charging an additional $500 to park in the driveway per month. So what they're doing is people don't have the money, so they're all parking on the road. And it's just,
Well, part of that Accountability Act is, one, getting the information for the landlord so we can talk to them. Two, making sure we know who the tenants are, where their cars are registered. If they're
Okay.
registered here, making sure that, we don't have people registering their cars in New York or in other places and then living here and things like that. So there's a lot to it, but I'd be happy to address that with you. And just, one comment about Public Works, because Mike isn't here. He's home sleeping, as the mayor said, getting ready for the storm tonight. But, we've had an incredibly challenging winter. It's been super, super cold. The snow is hard to move because it's been rock solid. There's, been I'm sure you read it in the papers, there's an ongoing salt shortage where we're borrowing from neighbors.
No, I
And
know.
we're working with other communities to make sure that, we're able to cover that. And then just the equipment challenge of trying to move heavy, thick, dense snow like that is really, really challenging. I know Mike's been doing his best to try to address
We have
everything.
three trucks down.
Yeah.
right, it was
Three.
5 and now 3,
Yeah.
yeah, no. I
We
just-
only have 6 trucks, I think.
So I do appreciate, the patience, Tracy, and the way you're addressing this. We can talk to Mike, certainly, but I know he's doing everything he can to address all of these
I
things.
have 2 more quick things, and then I'll get out of your way, I promise. The other thing is with the parking stuff, my question is this, it's the same addresses that are parking on the sidewalks, time after time after time. I get the ticket thing, but is there something that we can do, like, for a second stop now? Okay, this address has had a ticket, or the car's been parked in front of these houses multiple times, the ticket's not working. So is there another step that we can go to? Like, okay, no more ticket, let's go to the next step. Because unfortunately, Woodbridge Avenue, the one in Woodbridge where my kids get the bus, every time there's a car parked in front of it. Okay? My last thing, and I'll get out of your way, I promise, is that sidewalks. Nobody is shoveling sidewalks. And we've talked about this too. They're not shoveling. The kids are waiting for buses, and there's no sidewalk shoveling. You have Summer Street, where Tommy Bennett's is. The bus is there's no sidewalks. The girls are walking home. They're walking from Emmett O'Brien down to Julia Day to get to work. They're coming down Hill Street. They're not shoveling like between Shortell Drive down that way. The poor girl has to walk on the side of the road, and nobody's enforcing it. I know it said 12 hours on the code red, but I'm just asking. Because we talked about that in the meeting, and I did review it, and I saw that it was $75. Remember we said, I don't know what it was, it's $75, but I don't know who enforces that, because I brought it up to Blight, and he said that he doesn't really enforce it because he can't hand out a ticket. So who does it go to at that point? That's all I have.
So I can answer for that one?
Yes.
I think the general term that nobody's enforcing it is, again, probably too general. We've gone out on dozens and dozens of these complaints, whether it's businesses or homeowners. I can tell you, I know some of my officers have tried to help people and shovel their stuff because it's a little old lady or something. But, they're doing the best they can, but they do take it based on a complaint basis. I will tell you, I don't put somebody on to do
I gave them a list too when I had.
yeah, so if there's a list, then they went out and they hit all those spots if there was a list. They can give them an infraction. Again, we try not to give people infractions for things that they can just fix, right away. It's the same thing that happens with garbage cans that get left out.
Yeah, but it's been over 2 weeks. I mean, I hate to say it to you, but.
But then I need to know what the addresses are. I know you use our tip 401 pretty regularly. So I would tell you can just go on there. You don't even have to send an email or anything. You go on there and just put the list in tip 401. And it comes, tip 401 goes to every supervisor and the chief. So I will be able to see it, and I'll see what they do with it tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy. Is there anyone else who would like to address the public session? Hey, Ed.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Edward Norman, 51 Grove Street. I was just here last month. I was appointed to the Board of Apportionment and Taxation. For the Recreation Department Director that was here earlier. You're all volunteer. I know you volunteer.
Yeah, he's with the soccer director. There's a difference between our recreation director.
Well, he's talking about volunteering.
I understand that, yeah.
I've done that for as long as I've lived here. All right, and that's one of the things that I wanted to address is that we're going to be working together, Carl, the president of the Board of Aldermen tonight, working with both on the budget. I've been a Republican for many, many years, all right? I never got along with the past Republican administration. We always went toe-to-toe on everything, starting with their charter revisions and the way the budgets are actually handled and the approval process. I think that's something that should be changed. One of the other, and we'll get into that, and we got the budget process coming up. It's like, I think I told the mayor, that's a long road to hoe. There's a lot in there, there's a lot of abuse in there, I'll say, all right? Then we talk about projects, about the different fields and stuff like that. There's a lot of abuse I see there. I was on the housing authority with the Olson Drive project and revising that from 165 units down to 62. The prior administration fought me tooth and nail about that. All right? One of the changes in there was a new firehouse, a new police department, new firehouse. They totally opposed that. But anyway, we'll get into that when we get into the budgets and everything. And there's a lot of work to be done. Is it Tracy that was here? One of the other things that I did on my own, what about volunteers, is I organized the Ansonia Block Watch years ago. I think it was 2009. Worked with the chiefs and everything like that. What we mentioned as Code Red was, I was in telecommunications, we called it E911, where you can send out specific calls rather than just receiving it. And we urged the police department, Chief Hale at the time, to install that, and that's the 911. We also had block watch meetings where we would get together pretty much on a quarterly basis in the various wards and everything like that. That went astray when the prior administration turned it more into campaign stops than listening to the people's concerns. And with that, I'm glad Tracy brought up about the parking and the sidewalks. Plenty of sidewalks on the west side, all right, that are not plowed. The streets are very narrow on the west side, all right? They can't get by, you can't pass 2 cars, sometimes you can't even pass 1 car. And a lot of the abuse is just people that don't care about you. Self-serving, I'll park my car here, and too bad if they can't get by, let them hit it and I'll sue them. But that's the attitude. With this unshoveled sidewalks, I live right by the middle school. That puts the kids out into the road, into these narrow roads in that area, and it's not very good. The other thing with that is something else that I plan to address. Captain Conway was here last week from the Fountains. They've done away with fire service on the west side of town. I don't know whether you know that or not. They want to sell Engine 4. I'm a 51-year member of the Charter Hose Company. and I'm still active, I'm still a driver, because they can't get people. But that's something that has to be changed. It's on the whim of a small group, and I'll tell you, the chief right now is a member of the charters, and he doesn't even live in Ansonia. He lives in Seymour, he belongs to the citizens in the Seymour Fire Department, and he's trying to invoke their process on us. We're in bad shape, Derby's in bad shape. We probably should have some type of fire prevention consultant come in and look at the fire department, and probably it would come to a regional, merging the Ansonia and the Derby fire departments. All right? Because we're not going anywhere. Anytime they have a fire, they have to call us in for support. Anytime we have a fire, we have to call them in. We had 2 fires in the past week.
Yeah.
We had people coming in from Orange to help support us. It's just absolutely ridiculous. Alarms are going to 3 alarms, all right? And in addition to that, we'll go back to the streets and sidewalks. Last storm, all right, good storm, no one ever came around to the west side to shovel out fire hydrants. That used to be part of the work assignment.
That was paid for. I authorized that. So we got to find out about that.
All right,
I
well, what they
authorized
did-
12 people to do that.
You authorized 12 people.
Yeah.
But, and I understand it, but they didn't come to the west side.
No, and I'm going to find out why.
All right, and as a matter of fact, one of our assistant chiefs works for the Board of Ed and plowed out the Board of Education, which is across the street from my house, but never did the fire hydrants. All right, so it's kind of ridiculous, if you know what I mean. So it's, are they requiring the neighbors to go out and do the fire hydrants?
No.
You know, it's just so much going on, and I really appreciate going back to you folks volunteering. I think we need some good charter revision.
I'm upset about the fire engine because the city doesn't have a lot of money.
I understand.
And we have an emergency. You're on it, Chief. And I specifically asked, last time you only allowed 8 people. And I said, well, this is a major storm. How many people do you need? And they said 12. I says, well, then take all 12, make sure you take out the fire engines. So we're going to look into that. All right? I'm very upset. I want to let you know.
If you don't mind, I'm not
Because I went on the
smoke.
limb for that.
Ed?
No, I
No, we know you are. 'Cause
We
mine's
know,
on-
we know.
I cleared mine on Howard as well, so I believe
Okay,
you.
and-
Trust
and-
me,
and
trust
that's
me.
And that, I believe you too. I'm just upset.
Because when you go back to clearing fire hydrants, all right, again, I was on the Board of Aldermen, I was on going back to early years in the fire department. I put in a grant, one of the first grants from the fire department were for those revolve markers, because you couldn't see them over parked cars where people were parking in front of fire hydrants, and you couldn't see them in the middle of a snowstorm, all right? And there were a lot more, you know, it was safer. And right now, my wife is livid. Our insurance is probably going to go up because, you know, I know on my insurance, they measure the distance from a hydrant, you know, the fire response and everything like that, and our responses are very poor. So I just wanted to give you a heads up. I really appreciate all of you here, and I understand the job that you have in front of you, all right? And whether it's the day-to-day budget, the expenses, the capital budget, the grant budgets, and everything like that, they're a mess because they were abused. And I feel if they were abused, I was abused. So just put everybody on notice that we do have a lot of work ahead of us. Thank you very much. I don't need to take up.
Mr. Norman,
Yes.
I knocked on probably 200 doors on the west side. Every person I talked to live mentioned fire departments and fire service. The only
Well,
thing.
how come the fire department, the officers, the fire commission, or the fire chiefs are not listening to that? Maybe
They
because
are.
don't
It's on my
They
list.
Lisa, you know, one of my good friends, Lisa's brother, was a chief in the city, with the charter's host, all right? And he would be appalled with the way it's being run right now. In my opinion, I think what they're trying to do is force the city into a paid department. When I was chairman of the fire commission, I put together a report, because that's what I used to do, is nothing but projects and reports. And it would cost us like $7 million to put on a basic paid fire department. That's not equipment, that's just manpower and hours. So I see it heading that way, you know, and we're penny-wise, you know, watching, you know, 8 people or 12 people out on fire duty. But if we have to move to a paid fire department, it's going to cost us a lot more money. So I look for your support, and I think that whole concept of the fire commission, the fire chief's proposal of doing away with the fountain hose, again, it goes back to maintenance, because there's a chimney collapse, so the building isn't even serviceable. But their engine is good. How many, I forget what it was, over $1 million in new equipment on order, all right, when they're trying to sell engine 4. And there's no market for these guys. I'll tell you that right now. But anyway, thank you all very much.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
Is there anyone else who would like to address the public? Anyone else want to get up and speak a word? Going once, going twice. Is there anyone who would like to speak? Before we close the session, if I just may say something, I understand people's frustrations with the snow removal, with almost everything going on. But when I hear someone say no one comes by to check on this, to do this, to me it sounds like they're deliberately shirking their duty. The city is short-staffed, the city is short-funded, and I just want to say that we are trying our best. It's like we got left a car to drive with a wheel missing. And that's basically what we're dealing with. And I would only ask that people have, I know patience is not an easy thing to live with sometimes, but try to have a little patience, and I believe that it may take a while, maybe a little bit arduous and a little bit, a bittersweet pill in some cases, but I think we'll fix these things. That's my statement. Next up, public official session.
Okay, thanks for coming, everybody. I will make one comment on Colony Park. We are looking to fix Colony Park with money we have left over from all the fields. So that's not a dead issue. We have people looking at the drainage. The company that did it before, they did not do the drainage correctly, and the field floods all the time. So I'm aware of that. Ann brought up Nelligan Park. We don't have the funds for Nelligan Park. I don't live too far from there, and there's 6 inches of water on that park field half the time. So that's, I'm not going to say it's on the radar, but when we get some money, we're looking at that as well. So the Colony Park's the priority right now, and we're working on that. There's going to be an inaugural ball held February 21st by the mayors of Derby and Ansonia. It's kind of our idea to raise some money for youth recreational services. We have no money for the summer youth program, and any profits we make off of that, I'd like to see used for that, so we can hire some kids for the summer. And believe me, I'm putting money into myself to make sure it's a success. So, you can come, but it's very important that we help the kids. Myself, Senator Cabrera, and Representative Rochelle will be sponsoring a blood drive at the Armory on February 16th. So please come and give blood if you're able. I know some people can't. And I myself have given over 10 gallons. My doctor told me I got to slow down and learn what this process is. Interviews are well underway to hire a chief financial officer. In city speak, they're referred to as controllers. And we have a new CFO, we hope, in March. We will, I mean. And Joe, you want to talk about the process? Because I'm not doing I won't be doing the final interviews. But Joe and Nan are interviewing several people right now.
I can do it when you're done there.
Okay. I have Nan on the list to talk about freedom of information training. You know, we're trying to do ethics training, freedom of information, all these things that should have been done with other members of the city government. And I'm trying to make sure that we touch all the bases. I can't guarantee that everybody gets trained, but they're supposed to go to training. The freedom of information training is going to be coming up. All right, I'm going to give the kudos to the DPW for their clearance of streets during the January 25th and subsequent snowstorms. Many of the workers are out applying for more than 30 consecutive hours. More than 600 loads of snow have been removed from roadsides and placed on the old American brass site, which is city line. So all that frozen snow, we had payloaders going up and down, filling dump trucks going up there, more than 600 trucks. We had them working overtime on Sundays for Main Street, the back streets, all over the city. So there's only so much we can do. The snow piles are very dangerously high, and we had to clear the intersections. The department had three plows break down, 2 of which will be out for the next several weeks due to part shortages. So we're not the only ones breaking snow trucks. It's the same parts that are breaking for everybody. And we don't even know we're getting back in the next 2 months. There was also a salt shortage. I don't know if you saw on TV or whatever, but the TV station here was here to talk to myself and Mike Alessio, and we were able to get 4 truckloads of salt from Hamden. Now Hamden's in trouble. We owe Hamden for it, so we'll pay it back. And Frank already alluded to, it was nice that we gave a moment of silence to Jimmy Bartelis. He worked for the Department of Public Works. When I was a senior, he was a sophomore for the baseball team. But he was one of the captains of the first team to win a state championship in 1974. So a real good guy, helped everybody, and a real loss to the city. So I say it here, I'm very proud to have been his teammate and a friend of his. We have been working with High Axiom and Johnson Controls to help resolve an issue regarding the $37 million fuel cell project. This was listed in the budget as providing $1.3 million. The budget is completed by the city. We're waiting for the Board of Education to complete their budget, which is approximately 60% of the total budget, and I hope and expect to see it next week. Next Tuesday, February 17th, I'm going to have Tom Hamilton, who is our financial consultant. Tom is an expert on any finances for the state of Connecticut. He's been working with us part-time for the last several weeks. He's going to do a presentation on the city's current fiscal crisis. He's not going to do the budget. He's just going to show you where in this past several years all this money was spent. More than $41 million was spent. And why in the situation what we are in. So this event will be held in the Senior Center on the 2nd floor at 65 Main Street. I will be requesting all departments and a representative at this meeting, and I encourage all committee heads to attend. And the chief is here. He knows I've been busting chops about the budget, and he's got some issues because he's short manpower and he needs overtime. So that's all I have to say. There's a lot more I can say, but I don't want to. Anybody have any quick questions?
Yeah, is that public?
Absolutely, you're going to be invited. All board of aldermen, all city officials, department heads.
Will we be putting
requested.
something out soon so we could start to inform the citizens in Ansonia?
Kath, we're going to send something out, right, to everybody?
Awesome, thank you.
What's that?
I just want
It's going to be a public meeting, and it's going to be what the consultant found. Where the money went, why we don't have any money, what's going on with that.
I just want to say thank you to Mayor Tishka for driving what you originally said you were going to do with us, which is transparency.
which I think he's provided to everybody here in this room consistently, as well as trying to bring some sort of structure to a failed administration. So thank you, Mayor Jessica.
Thank you. So, as far as a lot of these projects that, the soccer and all that, thank you, Ann, because we don't have just soccer. We have a bunch of things. And we have no policies and procedures in place,
Nothing.
which they are working on. Okay? If you go to any other town, I can't say any other town, but I know we used to have policies and procedures. I'm surprised we don't.
Well, we had a recreation board that didn't meet for 5+ years. So that's a big
It's
problem.
like picking up a book that hadn't been touched in 5 years.
Yeah, and now we have a brand new facility that we have to put rules and regulations in. We have to protect that. We've invested a lot of money into it. We just can't say, okay, everybody go for it, I go have a soccer tournament, or even a baseball tournament. That's what my email said.
Ultimately, there's just no, the thing is, there's nothing in place. So the frustration comes from everybody that's been waiting, right? But we don't have a way to initiate the ball. So.
Yeah, well, we'll get it all straightened out. And listen, nobody likes sports more than like 90% of the people in this room. Tyler, Carl, Ann, Lisa. Can't speak for too many other people. I know Beth. So we support you. We're going to have this fundraiser because we want to have something for the kids in this summer. So I've already got $500 out of my own pocket to get this thing off the ground, and I don't care. I want it to be a success, and that money's not coming back to me. I really don't care, and I'm not a multi-millionaire either. It's just I have certain priorities, and sports in general. I'm not saying soccer. I'm not saying basketball. I might cheat a little bit on football. And baseball, they're all very important to me, all of them. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor.
Please come next Tuesday. Tom's going to give his report, and he's going to go in detail what happened to that money, what's left, and where we are now.
7 o'clock?
Yeah, 7 o'clock. And shortly thereafter, we'll have a budget, and what was that? When do we have to go to you with that? And right when we get it, because you got to review it?
The budget was due last Monday, but...
Yeah, but
Joe was going to put the, Joe, Treasurer Campanati was going to put together a schedule.
Yeah, we have that, I think.
It's being revised currently, but it's close.
Yeah, revising the schedule. What's that?
I haven't seen the schedule that he was putting together.
He's revising it. I got a copy of the budget today, but it's not 100%. And I don't have the budget from the Board of Ed yet. But we are going. Poor Ed, he's going to be spending days looking at this thing, and I'll be right with you too. We'll look at it together. All right, thank you, everybody.
Well, and just again to address the board, all right. I got a call from the mayor asking me to join vote, all right? I see the people that were elected, all right? But I also see the people that he's putting on, and he's building a great team, all hardworking, dedicated people that really think of the city, getting out of this mess, because that's really what it is. And we've been abused for so long. I met my good friend, my old friend, former Senator Hale, all right, again, member of the Charters host, his father was a member, his brother was a member, it goes back a long way. It goes back to Ansonia as a town, as a small town, people working together. And I mentioned it to a few that to get out of this, it's going to take butt weight. I had a boss that always talked about butt weight on major projects, all right? It's when you and I are putting our butts together and working as a team rather than spread out and everybody doing their own little thing. So my focus is where are we going to be, next year at this time, where are we going to be, in the next election cycle. And I hope we can meet it through. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay.
Good evening, Board of Alders. I'm Nancy Spagnola. I'm the Chief of Staff. This is the first time I've gotten to speak to you.
So last month at your Board of Aldermen meeting, our Assistant Corporation Counsel, Joe Androsky, discussed the training he provided on ethics. The Mayor's office has just confirmed that Russell Blair, who's the Director of Education and Communications for the State FOI Commission, will be coming to Ansonia to offer 2 FOI trainings on Monday, March 30th. One will be at 3 and one will be at 6 p.m. The afternoon training will be geared more to staff, and the evening training will be more focused on the aspects of the Freedom of Information Act that affect our elected and appointed officials. The location of the meeting is still to be determined, and information will be sent out once the locations are finalized. And we look forward to seeing you there.
Thanks for doing that.
The 30th of March, it's a Monday.
30th?
Yep.
3 and 6.
What were the times? 3 and 6?
3 and 6.
Would you, Dan, would you recommend we come to the one at 6, our board?
Right,
Yes,
yeah.
Joe?
Yes.
Yeah, everybody will get an email with once the details are finalized.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks, Nancy.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Briefly, just to follow up on the CFO process is underway, as the mayor said. We've so far interviewed 2 candidates. We have 5 more to go. We had a big pool, over 20 applicants. We narrowed it down to 7 with the help of Tom, the consultant, myself, Nancy, and Kim from finance. Those are the 4 of us that are doing the interviewing process. So we have 5 more to go. Our anticipated plan is to narrow it down, get through a second round with a smaller pool, probably 3, maybe 4 candidates, depending on how well everybody interviews, and then narrow it down to the final 2 candidates so the mayor can obviously make the final pick in the 3rd round. So that's kind of our process going forward. We're hoping to have the entirety of the process done, hopefully before the next board meeting, so the mayor can announce who the new candidate is. Might be a little, you might be pushing the envelope a little bit depending on schedules and now getting everybody in with everything else that's going on, considering the budget and other things, but we're hopeful we can get it done. A couple of other things. We did hire an assistant librarian as well, so we have a new person in that position. We've been undertaking the implementation of time and accrual, like I had mentioned previously. That process is underway. We're currently working with the implementation team, getting them their information. That process takes about 6 to 8 weeks total before we should have everybody on board. And then we have a secondary implementation process that'll take place later in June to get everybody that is not on a calendar year, but is on a fiscal calendar year up to speed. So we should have everybody on that. And we're working with the other departments that have their own timekeeping methodology to make sure that translates back and forth. In addition to that, Nancy and myself are working on updating job descriptions, and that kind of rolls into the next. And we have 2 ongoing union negotiations that we're working on. Hopefully we'll have union contracts to you. Maybe one at the next meeting, possibly, but more likely, I'm thinking April for your consideration.
Which group is that?
That would be the clerical union, the Teamsters Clerical Union, which is City Hall staff. We're also we're opening Public Works Teamsters at the end of this month, which will be a new negotiation, and we're currently in negotiation with JARMS, part and full-time EMS workers. So those are both ongoing. Clerical is a little bit further along, but there's still some work to do. ARMS is a little bit behind that, but again, there's still some work to do on that. So I'm thinking April, May for both of them is a reasonable timeline. And Public Works, that contract expires at the end of June, so we're hopeful and trying to get it in before they have its expiration. The other 2 are already expired, and we're working on to catch up. A couple of other things. Just wanted to mention, talking about Public Works, we have had over the last 9 months a total of 6 retirements from Public Works. So we are,
And more are coming, correct?
And more
Through the rumor
coming,
mill?
more likely than not over the next 3 to 6 months as well. So we're looking at backfilling some positions. We've done 2 previously, but that's probably what's going to come forward in the spring. Working with the mayor to figure out that timeline, obviously budget constraints and stuff like that. But just so you guys know, I mean, these guys at Public Works are really working hard.
We've had COVID in Public Works.
We've had a really tough winter. So, I mean, I hear, obviously I hear see a lot of the stuff on Facebook, and I hear a lot of the concerns of our constituents and stuff like that. But these guys are really working hard and putting in a lot of overtime. It's been a really challenging winter. So Just a couple of other things. From an operational perspective, we had mentioned Nelligan and the drainage issue over at Nelligan. There is a regional project that is in planning stages through the COG addressing the drainage issue. So it's not something that's going to happen this year, next year, but it is something that's ongoing. It's in the planning stages, hopefully in the next 3 to 5 years. It's a state project, it's state funded. It's going to be helpful to us, and it's going to address the ongoing and long-term drainage issue. I mean, Ann, I can remember us talking about this 15 years ago.
I talked about it, I had a meeting with the administration team and talked about it several times at Board of Aldermen meetings.
Yeah.
Molly was 4 and 5, and she is now almost 17 years old, and the problem still has not been addressed. So when someone from soccer or about Colony, we want to talk about the drainage problem, and we're going to put money into Colony, I'm not against it. I am for the kids. I love sports too. But again, I will reiterate, the past administration put $6,000 from Burns Construction into that, and now we have to fix it. And now again, girls softball, once again, gets nothing. And soccer continues to come to every meeting, and they want more money, more money, more money. Sorry. But it's time that girls softball gets some help and some assistance as well. And then we want to talk about, we only have one big baseball diamond in this town. What about our Babe Ruth boys? What about our middle school? Who last year, our middle school team, so pathetic, played on Bob Berlinger's softball fields. There's other things in town that also need to be addressed as well. Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Ann. I was captain of the baseball team, and I played Little League. I played Babe Ruth. I was MVP in Babe Ruth. And,
yeah.
I was all NVL in baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You got to have fields for the kids to play. And
yeah.
That's what upsets me about that project. I said the same thing. Where's the baseball fields? In the Little League field, I don't know if you were there when I took somebody apart. And I said, who did the planning on this Little League field? It's not even the right specifications. Yeah. So,
but
anyway,
from what I've gathered,
agree. I can't do anything with Nelligan in the near term, but I have raised it to COG. It's in the planning stages. They're aware of it. And I think it has to do with the drainage from Emmett O'Brien when they did their field. Yep. It has everything to do with that, because that's what they told me.
It's widening the culvert underneath and really addressing the issue finally.
So, yeah, the culvert's too narrow for all the water that has to go through.
But we're going to have to be prepared to tell our girls softball, once again, that if it rains one day very heavy, they're not going to be able to play or practice there for a week. Because that's what happens.
At this point.
I'm well aware of it.
Unless we find something like $20 million, unless you give us some money. Just so you know, Edith Burley used to be on the Board of Aldermen. And I think some people in the back remember Edith. And she was a fireball for girls' sports. And that's why you have softball and all these girls' sports, because of Edith Burley, who's quite elderly now. She's like you.
But she's still a fireball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there was one last issue I wanted to mention was about an issue that's already been raised in terms of the timeline for the budget. The charter indicates, obviously, the mayor was supposed to deliver the budget. So, at this point in time, I would say to this board, you have the ability to change that timeline and extend it. Maybe possibly a motion under new business that indicates giving the mayor an extra month to present his budget keeps you within that as well.
Joe, when is it supposed to be technically?
Technically, it's supposed to be, I believe it's the second Tuesday in February.
So today.
So today.
Yeah.
So
It's pretty much,
pretty
much done.
It's a matter of the Board of Education, not to interrupt Mayor, but it's tweaking a couple of things and allowing for the report next Tuesday to be presented, that information to come out, and then tweaking a few things and putting everything together and finalizing it. So I think it absolutely will be done by the second Tuesday in March.
And don't forget, like Ed pointed out, when we get that budget, we're going to be going line item by line item through that budget. And we're going to be questioning what's in that budget. And it's going to be very tedious. It's going to take a lot of time. So that's what's pushing this thing on, too. Until we get the numbers from the Board of Ed, I actually have a budget that I could give them right now.
I saw the Board of Ed budget. Wasn't that was presented?
I don't have it officially. Nobody gave it to me.
Okay.
And that's the time, and just to be clear, that's the timeline that Joe has been working on, is working on the timeline from that point in time in March, that second Tuesday, consolidating that for this board to be able to get through, meeting with each department, going line by line through the budget, and that's the sort of the consolidated timeline that's pretty aggressive. So,
In the past, this was done before the past administration. They changed the charter to say, well, the Board of Aldermen were elected, and they're the ones that should decide on the budget. But the Board of Aldermen never looks at the budget. They never looked at the budget. Even when I was here, we never looked at the budget. It would go to vote, and I would go to some of the meetings just to hear what's going on. Like if I was on the fire commission, let's say, or the police commission, I want to know what money they're trying to take away from my commission, you know. So that's the way it was done before. And the final approval went to the Board of Aldermen, but you knew it was scrubbed. And you knew you weren't just rubber stamping a piece of paper. You knew that people were looking at it. Well, I'm not doing it that way. I'm going to go back to the old way. And if we have to do a charter revision to make sure that we have people looking at the budget, that's what I'm going to ask the charter revision people to do, to go back to the old way. Because the way they did it, it doesn't work. It's a free-for-all. There's no accountability. So that's not we're not going to let that happen. Painful as it might be, that's what we have to do.
Thank you, Joe.
Hello, I'm Caroline Androsky-Baird. I'm Assistant Corporation Counsel. I work with my father, John. I'm here giving the report, and I guess Joe, he did a very detailed report, so I really don't have much to say. It won't take up too much of your time. I would agree that does make sense if you could make that motion to give us a little bit more time for the budget. I know they're working very hard on it. My brother Joe did do the ethics training. He's going to continue to update that. So hopefully we can do some more ethics trainings and make them ongoing and make the information available so that everyone knows what they need to do to stay within the lines of ethics compliance. So thank you all, and that's all I have.
Thank you. Through the chair, a question through the chair to the public officials. What is the time frame for extension that you're looking for?
I would say 30 days.
30 days.
Yeah, going from the second Tuesday in February to the second Tuesday in March to allow the mayor to present.
Yeah, that's what I have, March 9th.
Yeah.
Question for you. When you say go back to the old way, you're referring to, how is the old way? The mayor reviews
The way we're doing it now.
The mayor reviews and approves the budget?
The mayor submits a budget and gives it to the Board of Apportionment and Taxation. And each member, each department head has to sit with the Board of Apportionment and Taxation to review what's in the budget.
Rather than it coming through the alderman?
Right, because the alderman, you know, you're not elected to do that. Go ahead, Ed has a comment.
The Board of Aldermen is represented in the workshop. You have a finance committee, and you're more than welcome. I mean, you're open to the public. But the Board of Aldermen does have a big piece of the priority public comment on it. But the Board of Aldermen will participate in those budget workshops.
But I want to make sure you know that the Board of Aldermen was responsible for doing that, but they didn't do it. And
You weren't allowed to.
yeah, they weren't allowed to do it. And-
That was a good way to
and
put it
honestly,
there, Ed.
I wouldn't expect you to do it. It's just a lot of work. You really need people that are more focused on just doing that. It's very time consuming, very tedious. It's more of an accounting thing. And I'm glad you brought that up because I wanted to make sure when we started the process, we always have one person from the Board of Aldermen there. I know, Carl, I've seen you there a few times. Who else is on that board? Dan, you're probably on it.
I know that
Finance.
Frank asked, right? Didn't you send us the schedule of the meetings? To vote, and you asked at least one of us, if not more than one.
Yeah,
to
but
be
you always
present.
have somebody from the board there, so it's,
Yeah.
you know, it's all on the up and up. Somebody from the board's going to tell you what's going on, and completely transparent. There's no more, here's the mayor's budget, you know, that's not going to happen. I hope I explained that better than. Yeah, because before, I don't think there was any review by anybody before the board got it. I think it was just one person doing the budget, submitting it.
Yeah.
And they let it go. Matter of fact, I know that's what happened. That's why. Sorry, go ahead.
Chief? Or someone? Any more questions from the board?
I'll try not to take up as much time as I did last time. I apologize in advance. So I just want to let you know that I've updated you a little bit on personnel at the last meeting. But we still have 2 officers in the academy, one scheduled to graduate at the end of April. Through the mayor's office, we just hired 2 additional officers. They were approved by the Board of Police Commissioners. They'll start in the academy in April. We also have 5 open police officer positions that we're still testing for. We still have an officer out on long-term injury. Just kind of hit you the highlights of things. We talked about police accreditation. We are still waiting for the state to give us our Tier 2 accreditation, and we're working on our Tier 3 accreditation. Tier 3 is, as I said, is the final part, and then we'll be moving forward. We're still waiting on a grant from the federal government. I think they have other things to do right now, so they're kind of slow on getting back to us on the grant. One of the, and I think it was you, at the last meeting, I reported about our call volume being up, arrests being up, etc. And then I had conversations afterwards, and I didn't want to leave you with the impression that like there's a crime wave. So I kind of felt that. I left the meeting, I'm like, that's not really what it is. So I wanted to let you know that, yes, we have a call volume increase, we have an arrest increase, we have a citations increase, a motor vehicle stops increase. However, the big things that people worry about are crimes of violence. Crimes of violence are down almost a little bit over 20% from year over year, from 24 to 25. That's a great trend. Property crimes are down another 5%. So there are some trends that are going down, so I didn't want you to walk away from the last meeting thing, like, it's time to everybody get their permit. I hate to say it that way. I watched the meetings afterwards because I do try to see if I missed something, and I was like, maybe you should talk a little bit more. Actually,
Thank you for that, but I wanted you to know what my brain was trying to actually think.
So I actually have stats for you, so I'll give them to you after me, anybody that wants them. Also, just so you know, so this is going to be, these stats are, what I'm talking about is a year over year, for calendar year. But every August, you'll get a report from me, and it's the annual report, and it goes by the fiscal year, so it goes, what we follow in the fiscal year. I actually printed out probably 20 of them. So if you'd like one, it's online. Anybody who wants it, it's online. It's in the August meeting of last year, but I can give you a hard copy of it. And it kind of goes over department by department, inside our department, what goes on. So it's a good way to kind of educate yourself a little bit about the police department. So I have them here. I'll give them to you at the end of the meeting. So I did want to talk about the snowstorm a little bit. It did wreak a little havoc with us in town. We work with Public Works. We were able to assist them in getting a lot of the streets cleared. As you're aware from the numerous phone calls, and just to answer the question, and I really don't want to answer the question, but yes, I will answer the question. The code red alerts do come from my office, but they come through my office after discussions with the mayor's office. So just so you know, it is not done in a vacuum. And we have what is called an emergency operations center here. It's several department heads, including the mayor, fire department, armed, police, that we all get together when there's going to be a major incident. We have discussions about what we think we need to do. And then if we have something that is so major that it's going to cause a serious disruption, we'll open a center, and all those people will have somebody from their staff there throughout the storm or throughout the emergency. So we did have a snow ban that was put in effect after the mayor. I want to kind of give you just a quick history of snow bans in the state happen all the time in towns. And I'll give you an example of New Haven. New Haven puts a snow ban into effect. When they put a snow ban into effect, at the start of that snow ban, tow agencies in their town just go out and tow cars. That's how it works. They do nothing other than that. Police don't come out and tell you that you're going to tow your car or anything like that. Here's what happened in Ansonia. Starting 4 days before the storm, we started sending out the code reds. We started putting it on social media. We continued that up to the storm. In addition, 2 days before the storm, I had supervisors print out flyers and begin putting them on people's cars saying, if your car is parked here during these hours, it can be towed at your expense. Not something other people do, but we do that just because the ultimate goal is not to tow anybody's car. We'd rather you just walk over Market Street. Then we get to more robocalls, and then what happened at the end, and I know some people may not have liked it that night, the officers literally drive up and down people's streets with a PA system saying, come get your car off the street. Because, again, the officers are not trying to tow people's cars. But some people call up and complain that we're waking them up.
People did.
Yeah, we can't win. I know, in a snowstorm, you can't win.
Nobody wins in a snowstorm.
So we did, I will tell you, we did end up towing about 75 cars during that snowstorm, and that did help Public Works to help get the streets plowed. I know, just so you know, social media is the downfall. I'll tell you at every meeting. But they did the best they could with what they had at the time. When snow is coming down at 2 to 3 inches an hour, good luck. That's all I can say is, there does actually come a point when you get higher than that they can't plow. So I think they did a good job, and we always do better, of course. But if anybody has a connect with Mother Nature, you can tell her that we're good. See you next season.
I want to say one thing too.
Yeah.
I live on Pleasant Street. It's a dead-end road.
Yeah.
One of the officers did come down my street. They had no PA system.
Yeah.
Physically did not go PA system.
I'm telling you, when I say that your Ansonia officers go above, they really do. And I just don't blow smoke about that. They really do. They'll knock on doors. I mean, again, they try to get the car off the street, but eventually,
From the west side, tell them thank you. Because I definitely saw them out in the cold, lights on. I was outside because at first I was like, is it a fire? Is there neighborhood drama? I was like, no, it's just a cop telling people.
It is kind of funny. I'll start getting videos at about like the 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning when the snow's coming down with the lights going. It's very pretty.
It was really
when
pretty.
the officer basically yelling, come out, get your car, whatever. So I did want to let you know, unfortunately, we did tow cars. Most of those cars got picked up within a couple of hours. They were able to get to the tow place and get their car.
And
Mr. Chairman, a question to...
Go ahead, absolutely.
Is that a higher than average amount of cars being towed? Are you seeing
I
that?
can tell you, I gotta be honest with you, we haven't had a superstorm in a while.
Right, yeah.
So,
2013.
we haven't had one in a while, and the last time we had one, which was the major storm, it was probably higher. Yeah, it was probably higher than that. But this time, I think we were able to give a lot more advance notice to people. And I know people were complaining they don't get the code red, so we sent out notices how to get on the code red. I know people went to Public Works. Darlene down at Public Works walked people through on her computer and signed them up. So, I mean, we really did kind of, I know there were some errors, there were some people who were having difficulties because the code red system had crashed, and they built us a new platform. So we're actually exploring another system. It's called Everbridge. It's through the state. We're actually exploring another system to see if that would work better for us. We are contracted with code red until July. So we just had a preliminary meeting with myself and the EMD for the city of Jeremy. We just had a meeting with Everbridge, so we're kind of going through what they offer and whether it's better for us or not.
So is that why everyone had to re-register, Wayne? Because it crashed?
What happened was not everybody had to re-register. When Code Red, it's a national company, when they got hacked and crashed their system, they were able to recover data up until March of 25. Anybody who registered after March of 25, their data was gone.
Okay.
But what happened was, instead of telling people, hey, if you did after March of 25, because Ms. Lynch, I'll ask you, do you know what day you registered for Code Red? No, nobody did. So we just told everybody, go in and register. If you went in and tried to register, it would have told you, hey, you're already in the system. So that's why we told everybody, just everybody be registered. And then the first message that came out You'll notice it came from Egypt.
Yes.
So it didn't come from Egypt, just so you know. Where it came from was, I never put the 1 in front of the 203. The Egypt country code is 20, so it came from Asia from 20, and so we're getting there. It's new.
But the last,
Right?
but the
So I
last
kept
one
getting people,
came
why are you
from
calling from
okay?
Egypt? I'm like, we're not, there's not in Egypt.
I know. Again, social media.
Yeah, I tried. I know we got complaints, people called up and asked if we could change the creepy voice. Yeah, listen, it's a computerized voice. I'll ask them if we can change it to a more handsome voice. I also wanted to just touch base. At the last meeting, I told you that I was going to be going over and doing a presentation with you on the speed camera system. The contract and the ordinance are in the hands of the Corporation Council, not you. I won't stick you up. Joe has them, so I'm just waiting for him to go over those. There were some questions, and we will go back and forth with the company. So hopefully we'll have everything for you at the next meeting. But I have to have that approved before we can do anything else. Alderman Rogers. Good morning, afternoon, evening. At the police commission meeting, not this month, but last month, you had brought up at our meeting about sidewalks on Franklin Street, which somebody would have to shovel, by the way. We're going to talk about that a lot. But if you go up Franklin Street, most of Franklin Street has sidewalks. Alderman Rogers brought up that from Rigg Street to it's about 165. Franklin Street does not have any sidewalks. So you go all the way up Franklin Street, all the way from Maple Street, and then you have to walk in the road, and then you get back on a sidewalk. There was questions as to whether the state, whose jurisdiction that was, et cetera. I've had conversations with the state. I had conversations with Mr. Yelman. So the state has finally informed me that they do not have any projects that are going to give us the sidewalks. If we would like to put sidewalks in, we have to work with DOT because that is a state road, and we can plan that, but it would be at the city's cost fully. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't grants out there, low SIP or whatever, but I just wanted to let you know, I wanted to get back to you that it's a bigger project. I would love to say, yes, let's put the sidewalks in, and then the mayor would fire me for spending $500,000 on sidewalks. So I cannot, so I cannot approve that, but it is something that I wanted to at least kind of kick it back.
So I appreciate your feedback. I did talk to Kara Rochelle.
Yep.
There is a grant that the city received for sidewalks that we could potentially use for this. I don't know what the process is or how we can do this, but there's a planning stage and obviously moving forward.
Yeah, and I'm sure engineering and
right,
all of
right.
that,
We
I
have
would
to go
just
through
point this
DOT
way down.
and everything else. So,
I would push all that down the aisle.
Hey, for the record, you would all fire him.
So I just wanted to touch base
No, I
with
appreciate
you
it.
and get back to you. So it is not something that had fallen down. And I think lastly, so at the last meeting, there was a gentleman that came up and talked about an incident on his street. It had to do with broken sidewalk, car parking on the sidewalk.
Columbia Street.
Huh?
On Columbia Street.
Yeah, on Columbia Street.
Corner,
So I had a very positive conversation with that gentleman.
Very nice.
I actually had conversations with the officers. It wasn't just an officer that had gone there, it was an officer and a supervisor that had gone there. I watched their body cam videos. There was definitely no rudeness, there was definitely no disrespect. It was trying to resolve a situation that actually had been resolved because the truck had already left. The officer actually had gone back and spent the next couple of days trying to find the driver of the truck. It's a national company, so we narrowed it down to 3 offices in Connecticut. Then he narrowed it down to 1 office, talked to that general manager. General manager made a good point. On that street, it's a very narrow street. If they're going to do a delivery, there is nowhere to park on that street to do a delivery. So he understands not being able to park on the sidewalk. So we're trying to come to a resolution. I can't say that it's a complete resolution, but I wanted to let you at least get back to the board and let you know that some of what was talked about it was more frustration than it was what actually had happened. So, but the gentleman and I actually we talked to him yesterday. We had a good conversation yesterday, and I gave him some avenues of ways to to kind of move forward with some other issues that he had. So it was a good, positive conversation. And that's it. I don't have anything else that I can think of that I was supposed to get back to you on, but I'm here for questions.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chief.
Thank you, Chief.
That's it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just wanted to add, because Dr. Tobacco is not here today from the Board of Education, he called me late this afternoon. He could not make the meeting. There was something going on with his kids. He just wanted to say thank you to everyone who attended the newly elected official day a couple of weeks ago. I thought it was great that we got to go see all of the schools and meet all of the principals and the assistant principals. So we just wanted to say thanks for everyone who was able to attend.
What an event that was. Well orchestrated. Kids did
Yeah.
an excellent job and provided a lot of insight. They did a great job.
Okay.
About our new plan?
Oh, yes, in relation to that, Ann, maybe as a board, we can send a thank you note or something to Joe and thanking him for...
I actually wrote something that Beth Tidmarsh is going to read tomorrow from all of us at the Board of Education meeting.
Okay, great. Okay, on to financial reports. For the report from the Finance Committee, I need a motion and a second to accept.
I'll move to accept.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So passed. The vote recommendations, we have two separate ones here. I need a motion and a second to accept the vote reports from January 20th.
I'll make a motion to accept the reports.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion? Oh, I'm sorry. So passed. I need a motion and a second to accept the vote report from February 2nd. Second?
Who did the second? I'm sorry.
Adam.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So passed. Request for refunds. I need a motion and a second to accept them.
I'll make a motion to approve the request for refunds.
And a second?
Second.
All, oh, yes. Sorry, I forgot to give you the amount. Refund report is $3,170.04. So I have a motion to accept. That was Lisa, and that was Jalen was the second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So passed. Monthly reports. I need a motion and a second to accept the monthly reports.
Motion to accept.
Sean? Second. And Chris, second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, so passed. We have a claim for Marvin or Rolana, claim number 1085. I need a motion and a second to accept that claim. We're going to refer it to council.
Motion to refer claim 1085 to corporate counsel.
Second? Second. Dan seconds. All in favor? All opposed? Hearing none, so passed. Communications, we have none. Resignations from Robert Jaskilka, Board of Apportionment and Taxation. I need a motion and a second to accept his resignation.
I'll make a motion.
Then I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes.
Can I ask that we send a letter of appreciation to Mr. Juskowski for his time?
Absolutely. All in favor of that letter?
Aye.
Okay. Thank you.
Mayor's appointments, Board of Aldermen, pursuant to my powers under the city charter and code, I hereby submit the following appointments. Fair Housing Officer, Jalen Daniels, 33 Pleasant Street, Ansonia. An appointment with a term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oh, any discussion?
I'm going to abstain.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Any discussion on that? Neither do I. All in favor? Yay.
Aye.
Aye. So passed.
Board of Apportionment and Taxation, Daniel King, 70 Woodlawn Avenue, Apartment 53, Ansonia. Jaskilka replacement, term to expire 12/31/28.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
Second. Good luck.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion? So passed.
The Retirement Board, Elizabeth Lynch, Town Clerk, 63 Franklin Street, Ansonia, an appointment with a term to expire November 30th, 2027.
I make a motion. I second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Discussion? Hearing none, so passed.
Joseph Campanani, Treasurer, 147 Myrtle Avenue, Ansonia, appointment with a term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion? So passed.
Frank Pergola, representing the Board of Aldermen, 13 Lothrop Street, Ansonia. An appointment with a term to expire November 30th, 2027.
I motion to approve Frank Pergola.
Second.
All in favor?
Nice try. Nice try.
Where were we?
Do I ask for a yay on this?
Any discussion?
Any discussion?
Wilton. All those in favor?
Aye. God.
So moved.
Oh, man.
Daniel Stoll, Board of Aldermen Representative, 21 Allen Drive, Ansonia. Appointment, term to expire 11/30/27.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That's one abstention on that. Abstain. Okay. Any discussion on that? Hearing none, so moved.
Daniel King, Board of Public Works Representative, 70 Woodlawn Avenue, Apartment 53. Appointment with a term to expire 11/30/27.
Motion to accept?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion? Hearing none, so passed.
Nunzio Parenti, Board of Apportionment Taxation Representative, 29 Chester Street, Ansonia. Appointment with a term to expire November 30th, 2027.
I'll make a motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion? Hearing none, so moved.
Edward Norman, Board of Apportionment and Taxation Representative, 51 Grove Street, Ansonia, appointment with a term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Motion to accept?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion? Hearing none, so moved.
Superintendent of Veterans Graves, Thomas Henry, 7 Hawkins Road, Ansonia, reappointment, term to expire November 30th, 2027.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion? So moved.
Parks and Recreation Board, Michael DeLessio, Public Works Director, 168 Prospect Street, Ansonia, appointment, term to expire November 30th, 2030.
Motion to accept.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Any discussion? So moved. Next is resolutions. I need a motion and a second to approve.
Mr. Chairman, I would like to speak briefly to why I support the motion ahead of it.
Sure.
So I want to speak briefly about Gary Hale's character and what I've gotten to know over the past couple of months that I have had the pleasure of meeting him and knowing him. I believe he's very well suited for this role because Gary's roots are right here in Ansonia. If you ask him, he'll say he's a North End boy, very proud. And his connection to the city is real and lasting. And Gary brings a very deep experience in clean and renewable energy, along with a clear understanding of how municipalities can move forward thoughtfully by navigating state and regional resources and avoiding pitfalls along the way. His background, serving 6 years at the state level, and his leadership on energy policy give him invaluable insight into both opportunities and challenges that many cities face. And above all, Gary approaches this work with integrity, clarity, and a genuine commitment to Ansonia's long-term success. And at a time when our city needs careful guidance and strong intergovernmental relationships, I have full confidence that he's the right person to help Ansonia move forward in this.
Well said.
And with that, I make a motion to accept the resolution.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Hearing none, so moved.
Gary's gonna have a lot of questions coming towards him in the future. I'll tell you that, Gary. Congratulations, Gary.
And a lot of work.
Okay, we have no new business.
I think we do.
We do have new business.
Extension
Extension of the budget.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I make a motion
To accept new business.
to extend the mayor's budget to March 9th, the deadline.
Yeah, I apologize for missing that. All in favor?
Aye.
Second on motion.
March 10th is the Tuesday. Sorry.
Second Tuesday of March.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's what we're looking for.
It's March 10th.
It's March 10th.
March 10th.
It's the same.
Okay. Again, I apologize. Let me start this again. All in favor?
Motion to accept.
Motion seconded.
We have a motion and a second.
Yeah, make an amendment to the motion, please.
I'd like to make an amendment to the motion to extend the mayor's budget deadline to March 10th, 2026.
Person seconded has to A-OK that. I second the amendment to Marcia's
Okay.
yes.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Discussion? Hearing none, so moved. I apologize for missing that. Okay, there was new business. No old business. No executive session. Do I hear a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
You're smiling when you say that. All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Thank you very much. Drive safe.